Welcome back to Big Blue Banter. I'm Israel Schill.
And I'm Kai McClellan. It's been an eventful time in the Bluegrass State. First up, we have Kentucky football. Israel, let's hear about how Kentucky took on Texas.
Kentucky football hosted number 21 Texas on Saturday as the Longhorns traveled to Lexington looking to build on their win over number 6 Oklahoma. Meanwhile, the Wildcats were in search of their first SEC home win in more than 700 days. The first quarter was all about defense, which was no surprise as Kentucky's defense has consistently been the anchor of this team, while Texas boasts one of the top defenses in the country.
Almost gave points to Texas with the near safety.
And the Longhorns finally reached the red zone after Ryan Niblett broke loose on an Aiden LaRosse punt from his own end zone, returning it inside the 10 to bring Texas into scoring position. On the very next play, Quintravion Wisner ran it in for Texas, putting the Longhorns on the board first in a low-scoring battle in the Bluegrass. Kentucky got its first points after the half, finally getting into field goal range to cut the deficit to 7-3. Midway through the fourth quarter, Cutter Boley made his Heisman-worthy play, somehow escaping a pile of defenders and scrambling out of the pocket to pick up a first down in crunch time minutes in the fourth quarter. Another long punt return from Texas put the Longhorns back in good field position, setting up a field goal to grab the lead once again with less than 3 minutes to go. With time running out, Kentucky managed to tie the score at 13, sending the game into overtime and increasing the hopes of pulling off an upset at home. The Wildcats won the toss and got the ball first in overtime, and a big play from Kendrick Law moved them inside the 10 with a chance to get up big in the first overtime. A bully scramble put the Cats on the half-yard line in 2 straight run plays against one of the best run defenses in the country would keep Kentucky out of the end zone.
Dowdell could not get over the top.
Texas took over and marched down the field, setting up a game-winning field goal. The Longhorns walked away with the 16-13 overtime win, handing Kentucky its 4th straight loss and keeping the Wildcats winless in SEC play.
Kentucky men's basketball hosted the annual Blue-White game on October 17th, and although fans saw exciting plays from the entire roster, a star player went down in the process. Jalen Lowe, the presumed starting point guard, suffered a shoulder injury that will sideline him for a few short weeks. Here's what head coach Mark Pope had to say after the event.
Yeah, he tweaked his shoulder, so we'll see. Kind of set him down out of precaution. We'll know more tomorrow. We'll probably get some imaging tomorrow and kind of see how it responds tomorrow. But he's an incredibly tough young man, so I'm sure whatever it is, he'll battle through it well.
Mark Pope gave a further update on the status of Jalen Lowe's shoulder at noon today. Coach Pope said he's doing well and his recovery has been epic. He added that he was back shooting yesterday at full speed and that they will probably keep him out of live contact for at least another week, just to make sure. He's a massively important part of this season. Up next, UK women's soccer hosted South Carolina last Thursday.
Here's Ainsley Sowers with more.
Thanks, guys. Kentucky earned its biggest win of the season last Thursday, defeating number 8 South Carolina 3-1 in the final home match of the Bell. With the victory, the Wildcats moved to 10-4-2 overall and 4-2-2 in SEC play, and notched their 3rd win over a top 25 team this season, the most since 2006. Kentucky got off to a fast start with Kendall Campbell scoring her first career goal just 9 minutes in. Talia Morisi added another in the 14th minute, and Gabby Peroto scored the penalty kick to make it 3-0. The Gamecocks fought back, scoring late in the first half again off a penalty, but it wouldn't be enough. The 3-2 win is Kentucky's first over South Carolina since 2014, ending a 9-match winless streak against the Gamecocks and giving them their first SEC loss of the season. Next, the soccer team travels to College Station to take on the Aggies on Sunday, October 26th at 5 p.m. That's all for now. Back to you and Kai and Israel.
Thanks, Ainsley. The NBA season is upon us, and there are 27 former Cats suiting up across 20 teams to start the year. The 2024-25 NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder, led by an all-Wildcat backcourt of reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and rising star Cason Wallace, took on former number 3 pick Reed Sheppard in the Houston Rockets on banner night in OKC. The Thunder survived a 125-124 overtime win off the back of a 35-5-5 performance from the reigning MVP. The nightcap was a star-studded matchup between the Lakers and Warriors, where Jared Vanderbilt failed to record any points in a 119-109 Warriors victory. Night 2 saw 21 different Wildcats make their season debut, but not many were as strong as Tyrese Maxey's 40-point, 6-rebound, 2-assist performance in a 117-116 76ers win over the Celtics in Boston. Tonight at 7:30, the Thunder head to Indianapolis to face off against the Pacers with Isaiah Jackson, who looks to play in his first regular season game since being sidelined in November 2024 with an Achilles tear. Last but not least, Jamal Murray is set to start his 2025-26 campaign for the Nuggets against the Warriors at 10 p.m. Kentucky has been dominating the basketball world for a long time now, and it doesn't look like anything is changing. We have some breaking news out of the NBA as players Terry Rozier and Damon Jones, as well as head coach Chauncey Billups, were arrested earlier this morning on conspiracy to wire fraud and conspiracy to money laundering.
FBI Director Kash Patel announced in a press conference today that over a 2-year span, dozens of people, including many mafia members, have been involved in illegal betting scandals on the NBA and at poker tables.
Here's what Patel said at his presser this morning.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
This is a developing story, and more information will be released throughout the day.
In better news, we're going to toss it to Ben for some volleyball.
Thanks, Sky. Kentucky libero Molly Berezowitz is coming off a career-high performance with 15 digs against Florida, a matchup that carried extra meaning since she was facing her former head coach from her Marquette days. She told me that her performance came from trust and preparation with a little bit of an edge facing her old coach. She says this week's practice has been all about sharpening defensive communication and keeping the momentum going into the next SEC matchup Friday against Mississippi State. That's all for volleyball. Israel and Kai, back to you.
Well, it's been a very eventful weekend in the Bluegrass. We will be right back after the break to talk Kentucky basketball. Welcome back to Big Blue Banter.
Now let's hear from Phoenix Stevens and Zach Bishop about number 9 Kentucky basketball taking on number 1 Purdue in an exhibition match.
Of course, Zach, like they just said, number 1 Purdue, number 9 Kentucky, big matchup. But Kentucky is going to be without a big-time player, Jalen Lowe. We just heard from Kai a second ago. Sounds like he's going to be out. No live contact for the next week or so. What do you make of that? How big is it that Kentucky will not have Jalen Lowe in this exhibition matchup?
I don't think it's as big of an issue as it will be in the future. We have 2 exhibition games coming up, so it doesn't really impact Kentucky's record, rankings, or anything. Just to see how the team plays without him will be in question. My biggest worry is how long is he out for? We did hear he is out at least 1 more week without any contact, but coaches tend to say this and then there's setbacks. Setbacks do exist. So we just gotta have to play it by ear and see what happens with Jalen Lowe's injury.
Now, let's just go ahead and go worst case scenario. Let's say he does miss some time heading into the season. He does miss some time, even for the exhibition game, right? Like, who, Zach, do you think steps up in place for Jalen Lowe? Who do you think needs to be that next man up?
Well, I'm looking at Otega Elway. He came back he was on the team last year. He's back this year. He had such a remarkable season, but does he really have room for improvement? Not really. He had such a crazy year last year, but can he duplicate that same year? We're just gonna have to see.
Yeah, because you think about Otega, he received some preseason All-American honors. So, if he can elevate himself to that level, should be really good. For me, I'm thinking of a guy like Denzel Aberdeen, a guy like Jasper Johnson, specifically for that point guard spot. Like, who, with Jalen Lowe out against Purdue, maybe against Georgetown, hopefully not, but maybe going into the season, I need to see either Jasper or Denzel kind of step up in that point guard spot. Of course, you have Aberdeen, who won a championship at Florida, so he clearly knows what he's doing. Zach, the Purdue exhibition, I know it's just an exhibition, but I feel like it's really important now because, like we were just saying, if Jalen Lowe has to miss some time, well, now we need to see what this Kentucky team looks like without him at point.
I feel like this is a great play. You're playing the number 1 Purdue team. This is one of the hardest starts of the season, and this is a good team. Can Kentucky compete against the #1 team preseason rankings without Jalen Lowe. This is like a good test. If we could see they show some fight against Purdue, there might be some hope that this team can go somewhere without Jalen Lowe for some time.
I think it's a great point. It's like you said, a great test, right? Like, where is Kentucky with or without, well, specifically without Jalen Lowe, right? Now we know he's going to be out. What are you expecting heading into tomorrow night?
I feel like it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, it's 2 top 10 teams. Does Kentucky pull out the win? My probably guess is no. Purdue is a good team. They have the experience in Painter, Pope. This is his second year in the SEC. It should be a good fight regardless.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I don't know if Kentucky will win that exhibition game. Of course, like very clear, does not count against the record, anything like that. But again, good test, all of those kinds of things. To me, I just want to see, very clear, like, be competitive, right? But again, who's going to step up? We'll find that out tomorrow night. That's it from Zach. And now over here, we're going to throw it back to Kai and Israel.
Thank you, Phoenix and Zach. Coming up, we have Kentucky baseball hosting their first showcase of the season.
Also, Kentucky Swim and Dive hosted its annual Pink Meet earlier this week. We'll have more info on that up next on Big Blue Banter.
Welcome back to Big Blue Banter. This Sunday, Kentucky will be hosting Morehead State during the Fall Showcase. Kentucky baseball announced this morning that concessions at Kentucky Proud Park will be closed. However, fans are welcome to bring their own food and drinks to the game.
Yesterday, Kentucky Swim and Dive hosted its annual Think Pink Meet at the Lancaster Aquatic Center, taking on the Indiana Hoosiers in a powerful display of competition and community spirit. This event, also known as the Pink Meet, supports breast cancer awareness, with the team wearing pink and offering free donuts for students in attendance.
I think pink for
We think pink for
Sophie. I think pink for my Mimi.
For my stepmom Valerie, who had the breast cancer last year.
For my grandfather.
For my grandma Judy and my friend Kaylin.
For my Oma who fought breast cancer.
I think pink for Tracy.
For my grandma and my aunt.
We think pink for Sophie.
For my grandma Nina Schaefer.
For my mom.
We think pink for Libby's mom.
For all the fighters.
For my grandma Liz and my pop.
For my grandma Janet, who's been affected by cancer.
For my grandpa.
I think pink for my mom's best friend, Janelle Wilkes.
For my grandpa. For my Mimi.
For my grandma, Zina.
For my mom, happy 1 year cancer free. I love you.
For my nanny.
Today I think pink for Kim Kredich and Missy Grether. Kim, you are so courageous and you've been such a positive, you've shown such a positive resiliency throughout your battle. And it's inspired me. And Missy, one of our amazing parents on our team, you are the caretaker of the Wildcat family. Everything that you do, your selfishness is an inspiration to us. So today, I honor you through action and we admire you.
What an impactful event that they host annually, Kai.
Yeah, super impactful, and everyone that's gone through that sort of thing only knows what that experience feels like, so it's always great to honor those type of people. Thanks for watching and joining us this week on Big Blue Banter.
Make sure to tune in next week at 1 p.m. on Twitch.